You can use any text editor or IDE to edit Helium scripts. In this case, I'm using IntelliJ IDEA, but you could, for instance, also use Eclipse or NetBeans. I already have a Java example file open here, and I will now debug into it and explain at each step what it does. I first start the debugger. I'm now paused at line Start Chrome. This is a Helium command, and as you can imagine, it opens an instance of the Chrome web browser. Chrome is now opened in the background, and the next line of the script, go to gmail.com, navigates to the given URL. We are redirected to Gmail's login page. On this page, there is an email field and a password field, which we would now like to fill in. To fill in a form using Helium, you use the write command. You supply the value that you would like to fill in. In this case, we want to write Helium fan as the username. And you also supply the target where the given value should be typed in. In this case, we want to write the Helium fan value into the email field. One of Helium's really nice features is that it allows you to identify web elements using user-visible labels. So in this case, we can just say write the value into the email field, which we see here. We do not need to know the HTML source code of the page we want to automate. When we execute the command, the given value is filled in, and we repeat the same step for the password field. At the bottom of the page, there is a sign in button, which we want to click to complete the login process. Again, we can just use the user visible label to identify it to Helium. To click on an element, we use Helium's command click. So we execute click sign in. We are now logged into Gmail and would like to create a new message. In order to do this, we need to click on the Compose button here. Helium lets you use the button predicate to identify a button. Like Helium's other predicates, such as radio button or checkbox or list item, you can pass it to the click command. So if we want to click on the Compose button, we simply say click button compose. When we do this, Gmail's Compose window opens. In this window, we have a to field, a subject field, and a text area for the message body, which we would like to fill in. To fill in the to field, we again use Helium's write command. We want to send the email to contact@heliumhq.com, so we execute write contact@heliumhq.com into to. We proceed similarly for the subject field. We want to give the subject Helium, so we say write Helium into subject. To put the keyboard focus on the message body text area, we do the same that also a normal user would do. We simply press Tab. The keyboard focus is now in the message body area of the Compose window. We write some text into it, namely Helium is awesome. And in order to make this example a little more interesting, we also want to attach a file now to our message. When you drag and drop a file, or when you drag a file over Gmail's web interface, a text drop files here appears. This is exactly what we will use to tell Helium where to drop the file. To drag a file using Helium, you use the drag file function. It takes the file path of the file that you want to drag, as well as the target where you want to drop the file. Since we saw before that the text drop files here appears in Gmail when you drag a file over the browser, this is what we'll use to tell Helium where to drop the file. When we execute the command, a nice little heart, which is the file we dragged, appears in our email. We are now ready to send it. In order to do so, we need to click the send button at the bottom of the page here. We could again use the button predicate, but for simplicity, we can also omit it. We click send. Our message has been sent, so the last step of the example is now to close the browser. Helium's command kill browser closes the browser and all associated windows and potentially open dialogues. This concludes the example. Thank you for watching.